come up with.
Yeah, this would be in those like sumo suits, and
Yeah.
we'll rent some of those.
Sounds like fun.
No.
Doesn't sound very PC.
No.
We'll get in one of those big bubble things and go after each other.
Bubbles. Hey, we could do that as a library fundraiser. Come sell
That's right.
tickets.
They could come and see us.
The library fundraiser.
Yeah,
You
that's
ever
right.
watch that bubble soccer or whatever they do indoors, and you have the big bubble thing around you, and you run into people, and
Yeah.
it looks deadly.
Yeah.
What is that?
So you have this big inflatable like bubble, right? That's maybe what, 6 foot diameter.
Yeah, and you're inside.
Yeah, you're in the inside, and you're playing soccer against other people in the bubble too. Of course, when you run into each other, that's just the conservation of energy, right? It springs and then you both bounce back and look it up. I think they do it up there at that indoor rec center area there off of what is that? Not off of 14.
Oh, like Kiva or something?
Kiva. It's up at Kiva. Yes. Thank you.
Oh,
It's fun to watch.
That sounds painful. Maybe
somebody's gonna break an arm.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're inside of it. So I mean, it's more or less just a roly-poly kind of thing.
Who invited Jeff to the meeting?
Yeah.
Is that you, Elise?
Jeff, I hear your phone ringing.
Point, yeah.
All right. Well, I think we have a quorum here, right? There's 4 of us.
I'm getting, yep.
One, two,
I'm adding
yep.
folks as
Yep.
fast as they're coming in.
I saw Jerry's clock.
I'm here.
Oh, yeah, there he is.
There he is.
All right. Okay. Well, it's 5 o'clock, so I'm going to call the meeting to order. Today is Wednesday, February 17th. This is the Village of Oregon Village Board meeting. And so I would ask for a roll call, please.
Ditch. Jacobson.
Here.
Bollig.
Bollig is here.
Peterson.
Here.
Glish.
Here.
Carpenter.
Here.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so next is community input. So this part of our agenda allows anyone from the public to bring anything to our attention, to speak on anything that they wish, as long as it's not on the agenda. If you're here and would like to speak to somebody on the agenda, let me know when that time comes. But is there anyone from the public who would like to speak right now or bring anything to our attention? I am not seeing anyone waving at me. All right, so we will keep going. For public appearances, we don't have any. 5 approval of minutes. We have 3 tonight. We have minutes from the September 21st, 2020 meeting, and the September 23rd, 2020 joint meeting with the towns, and the December 21st, 2020 meeting. Would someone like to make a motion to approve those?
Randy?
All right, motion by Randy. Is there a second?
Jacobson will second.
All right, second by Jacobson. Any discussion on those? All those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, approval of vouchers. Tonight we have vouchers in the amount of $753,848.64. Would someone like to make a motion to get these on the table, please, for approval?
Bollig will.
All right, motion by Bollig, second by Peterson. Excellent. All right, questions. Amanda, did you have questions too?
No.
Okay, cool. What questions do we have for staff on vouchers tonight? All right, Jerry, yes.
The installation of roof heat tape. I'd like to know where that got installed.
Jerry, that's probably the library. We've had lots of problems with ice melting from our roof and on our sidewalks, and we're operating with curbside pickup service out front. So we had that installed, and that helps with the ice problem.
Okay, I'm well versed in what kind of problems you have with the roof at the library, but thank you. Yeah, that's a nasty design issue. But that is the only question I have tonight.
Any other board members with questions tonight? All right. And Peggy, do you want to do a roll call vote then?
Yes. Bollig,
Always yes.
Lish,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Carpenter,
Yes.
Stitt,
If you said
Oh, he's
Stitch,
with
yes.
us. No, he doesn't.
and Jacobson.
Yes.
All right, thanks.
All right, thank you. On to item 7, proclamations and announcements. First is board comments. Any board comments tonight?
Bollig has a board comment.
Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you. I would like to congratulate Randy Glish and Jenna Jacobson on their success in the primary election yesterday.
Thank you, Jerry.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jerry.
You're welcome.
Hear, hear. Other board comments? All right. Staff comments. Mike, anything you want to highlight on all these upcoming meetings?
Just the one that I added, B2, that we scheduled the TID 4 extension request meeting on March 1st at 9 a.m. Joint Review Board. So that got added last week to the schedule.
Do you want to remind us who all needs to be at that meeting?
Jerry Bollig, someone from MATC, someone from the school district, and somebody from the county, and then our public member who is Mark Beadle.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yep.
All right, cool. And then everybody make sure that the rest of these meetings are on your exciting schedule. All right. Going on to item 8, communication and miscellaneous business. First item is item A, discussion with village attorney and possible action regarding review of procedure for filling a vacancy in the office of trustee. And so we're talking about Corey Horton. Corey moved out of the village, and so he had to give up his seat, and his term expires in April 2021. And Mike put this on the agenda. And this is probably my fault. I was just kind of, I guess, assuming that we would just wait until the spring election for this to be filled. But then I thought perhaps the board wants to fill this seat for, I don't know, 7 weeks or something. So I thought I should probably just not make a universal judgment on that and bring that to the board. So what is the board's pleasure on that? Yes, Jerry. Oh, then
I'll move this along with a motion to fill that position in April with the folks that run for office in the general election for the trustee seat.
So basically so this board will take no action filling that seat is what you're saying?
I guess that would be the ultimate outcome of my motion, yes.
Okay.
Jeannie, I'll second that.
Okay, second by Randy. Amanda, did you have something that you wanted to add?
No, I was going to agree. I think 7 weeks is a pretty short amount of time, and we may as well just wait till April.
Okay. Jenna, did you have a thought?
Clarification. So would we be accepting applications but not making the decision until after April, or would we not even accept applications until after April?
Not even accept applications until April. Just let the newly organized board, because there's going to be at least 2 seats open anyway.
Right.
So I would think that it would be easier for the board just to accept applications for both of those seats and then fill them at the same time.
I guess, I'll clarify my motion to say that staff should take applications with the to be filled date as of the election in April.
Oh, can I just make a couple? I think
Yeah.
somebody could do a writing candidate for the April election. So I think that Jerry's or whoever clarified the motion, I think the best idea, I have to agree with Jeannie. I almost assume that we're just gonna leave it vacant until the new board's in place. So what could happen is there could be somebody who does a write-in candidate. But let's say nobody does that and there's 2 vacant seats. I think it seems like the best idea, because it's such a short term right now, is just to let the new board deal with it. Their first meeting is on April 20th. I can put it on the agenda. That new board can talk about it and say, we'll take applications for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I think it seems like it makes logical sense to let the new board deal with it versus this board. That's my opinion.
I'll agree with Mike and withdraw my motion.
This is Matt. I'll just weigh in briefly. When the new board does discuss the matter, in addition to, let's assume that there's at least 1 seat vacant. In addition to deciding whether to fill the vacancy, they'll have to decide whether to fill it, whether to hold a special election, and if so, when. So that appointment could be for, the remainder of the term, which would be basically a full term, or the board could say, no, we need to hold a special election. And then the issue would be, when should that special election take place?
Because there's no 2 words that Peggy loves more than special election.
And what I'll do is I'll give the new board the memo that was in the packet when we did Luke's appointment, which outlined everything that Matt's talked about.
Okay.
Thank you.
So do you want us to vote on Jerry's original motion? Do you want this to be in the record that we're going to let the new board handle this?
I think it'd be good for the record, Jeannie.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, Jerry, then we'll still do, you had your original motion was to let the new board make this decision. And basically we're not filling the seat. This board is not filling the seat because it's 7 weeks. By the time that we accept applications, then we schedule a meeting to interview them, the election will be like 2 weeks away. Congratulations, you're a village trustee for 2 weeks. Yay. Okay, so does that make sense to everybody? So we have a motion and a second to do that. All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. All right, cool. Well,
Thank you.
it's good to know that my assumption was also shared by the board. Okay, sweet. Item B, we have a discussion and possible action regarding the Pitney Bowes mail machine. We have a recommended motion to approve the new Pitney Bowes mail machine agreement. All right, would someone like to make this motion perhaps?
Jeannie, I'll make it. Randy?
All right, motion by Glish, second by Peterson. Any discussion or questions on this memo? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 8C, discussion on possible action regarding the police chief's request to sell ammunition that is no longer used by the police department. We have a recommended motion to approve the police chief's request. Someone like to make that motion to get it on the table?
Jacobson will make the motion.
Motion by Jacobson, second by Stitch. Any questions on this memo for the chief? Does that look like it? All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Item D, this is a COVID-19 update. Item 1 is discussion and possible action or direction regarding the 2021 park reservations in Dane County Order 13. Mike, do you want to walk us through this a little bit?
Yeah, so when Order 12 came out, I asked the board to delay making a decision on the reservation idea until this order came out. And staff's comfortable in recommending that we go ahead with taking reservations now that they've changed the maximum for outdoor events. And we're going to actually have a meeting with the school district who does our reservations next week. But I'm comfortable recommending that at this point we could start taking reservations again.
Any questions or thoughts on that from board members? Does that sound okay with everybody? Do you need a motion on that, Mike?
It would be good. And then I will say that when I talked to Candy about it, this could happen again. What happened last year is this order comes out and then the thing spikes again. I mean, I could bring this back, and say now we have to pull things back. But I think at this point, all you can do is work with the current order. So yeah, I would ask for a motion, please.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion then to start accepting park reservations.
Glish,
Yes, Glish, thank you. Second,
Peterson.
second by Pearson, thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Item 2, this is discussion and possible action regarding COVID-19 village administrator's recommendation regarding waiving disconnecting utility services at this time. We have recommended motion to approve that recommendation. I'm totally fine with that. Anyone disagree?
No.
I don't, yeah, that seems to make sense, Mike.
Yeah, and I, Lisa and I talked about this, we, at this point, I'm not saying until when. I think we just sort of go along and see what's happening with the COVID situation. And at some point we will go back to disconnecting, but I just think, kind of push that in the future and make the determination at that point. So the board would just make this motion and would continue until it came back to you for another discussion.
Okay, Jerry, do you have thoughts?
Yeah, I have actually a question related to that subject. What is staff going to do with people that are unable to pay their utilities? Are they going to send notices to them, or just let it roll, or till this is all over, or what is the plan going forward?
Well, currently what we're doing, since we haven't been doing disconnections, we still are sending out landlord letters so that anybody that has tenants that are past due, that they're aware of it and they can work with their tenants on that. So that's what we're currently doing. So we'll continue to do that. We'll continue to send out letters to the landlords. And if we're not going to disconnect, that's about all we can do right now. Then it shows your balance every month. So people are aware what their running balances are.
No, I'm not disagreeing with that. I just wanted to know what the plan was.
Yeah, that's our plan.
Okay.
We have a motion on that, right, on the floor?
Not yet.
Okay, would someone like to make the motion to accept?
Bollig will.
Thanks, Bollig. Jerry. Second by Peterson. All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. All right, item 3. Village staff has purchased plexiglass shields for the boardroom.
So we are getting ready to, we're going to talk about the in-person interviews on March 12th. And then at some point we will be going to in-person board meetings. And so we're starting to get the room set up, and I just want the board to know that. And if you came and voted yesterday, Candy and Joy were sitting behind a couple of them at the downstairs lobby. So.
All right. Item E is discussion by Director of Public Works regarding the village water system security. All right, Jeff.
Yes, I'm on, aren't I? Yep. So I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on what we have for security, primarily because that's what keeps us secure. But what I will say is, we have fielded some concern from both board members and a few residents on, there was a recent incident where a chemical injection system was hacked by an outside source, causing them to inject additional chemicals into the water system. That was caught very, very quickly, and no damage was done, but it did cause a scare. We do have, I think, a very good security system in place. I can reassure everyone out there that we check the water quality for the chemicals that we are adding, which are fluoride and chlorine. We check those on a daily basis. And, we have an excellent history of maintaining the proper concentrations and that type of thing. I can tell you that those cannot be accessed externally at all, over the internet or be hacked or anything like that. So without sharing too much detail, we are checking our facilities on a daily basis, and that's pretty standard. So, and then we have also security measures and alarms and everything in place. So I want to reassure people, you know, we do everything possible that we can to maintain a very safe and secure water system. I'm confident in it. The board members should be confident in it, be confident in my staff that is checking on those things on a daily basis. And if there were ever a problem, of course, you and everyone else would be the first to hear about it. Any questions?
Gotcha. Yes, Jerry.
I just want to ask Jeff to confirm the fact that security system breach was not in Oregon here.
No, that was down in just outside of Tampa, I believe.
Yeah, no, I want to make, I didn't want anybody to become concerned thinking it was here.
Nope.
Gotcha. Sounds good. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate that. Any other questions for Jeff on that? All right, then we'll move on to the status, item F, status of the village administrator search. So at tonight's meeting, in addition to reviewing the mini resumes in closed session, we're going to review and discuss the following with Kevin Brunner and Chris Schwartz from Public Administration Associates. So some things that go through here. So first, interviews with finalists. We will have the capability with OCA Media's assistance to have board members participate via Zoom for the March 12th interviews. Please note the in-person interviews will be held in the Village Hall boardroom, and everybody make sure whether or not you want to be there in person or on Zoom to schedule yourself to be available from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Friday, March 12th, because we like to give a pretty big window to candidates for interviews. So there may be time, like break times or gaps in that schedule, but to kind of keep that open. Questions on that, or Mike, anything you wanted to add?
That was perfect. Perfect. Yep.
Okay. Anybody have questions on that? Okay. Number 2, community involvement. Trustee Jacobson wanted to discuss community involvement in the selection process. Possible suggestion is to request community members submit interview questions to the folks at Public Administration Associates by February 28th. And then we, the board, we could consider including those questions in our March 12th interviews. Jenna, since you're the person that suggested that, what do you think of that idea?
Like the idea, I'm just thinking if that's 11 days. So I would, how would we get it out there? You know, and would we use Facebook? Would we use the E-Verify? Like that seems like a short turnaround for 11 days to set up a system and how to do it, but I'm not saying it's impossible. I just have that concern.
And the reason I picked that day was because I thought the board then could look at them on March 1st when we're in closed session with Kevin and looking at the videos.
Yeah.
Kevin, if we got them a week, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
could I, yeah, I think we just need a few days in advance of March 12th. We put together a questionnaire for the board that has a Likert scale 1 through 5, so you can score them. And we just need a little time putting them together. But as long as, I think if we had them by the 5th, you know, I think that would be fine, you know.
Okay. So is the board comfortable with this village residents just sending them the questions to Kevin, and then Kevin would, but I guess the question is, how would the board decide which questions? And you know, what I was wondering is whether or not if we asked them to be here on the 5th, we could then the board could then go into closed session on the 8th. We have a meeting that night.
That'd be fine. Yeah, that'd be
okay. Let's do that.
As long as we can finalize the questions on the 8th, that'd be great. Then it just gives me a couple of days to finish the questionnaire. So
how about that, Jenna? Does that work for you?
Again, just a logistics question. we would have them just email Kevin rather than like collect questions via maybe, I'm just throwing it out there, a Google form or something, and then have everything go all at once, or trying to think of what would be the most approachable for community members to participate in.
Or
So,
they should probably, or they could email them to me, but I just thought they should go to the consultant.
sure. Yeah. No, I'm just
Yeah. No, I'm just
thinking through that.
yeah. But it sounds like we can make it longer. We can make it however you want to do it, make it that Friday. And then then the board could look at them on the 8th and see if how many, if any, you want to use. And there could be some duplication already on some of the questions. So
Yeah. No, and I like having that extra time. I think that'll be helpful. I think that just relieves some of the pressure on us to get something out there that makes it easy for people to participate in. So,
well, I could do, unless Elise or Jeff has an idea, I could talk to Candy about this tomorrow. She's really good at this. I understand your question, Jenna.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe in addition to a Facebook post, we could use the e-notify system to send email to folks that are already on the village board email list, and then just say, if you're interested in submitting interview questions, please email so-and-so by this date with suggested questions.
Yeah, good. Yep.
I like that. Yeah.
Seems
Okay.
maybe like the easiest route, as long as Kevin doesn't mind getting flooded with maybe a couple dozen emails.
It's fine.
He loves it.
Well, that was one of the reasons why I wondered if it would be easier to put everything in like one, Microsoft form or Google form before, and then get it to Kevin. But I don't know that it matters either way. I'm just trying to think of logistically what would be easier.
I've gone through this where I've gotten lots of emails and you just collect them. It's not, I don't think it's unmanageable.
Okay.
Speaking for Kevin.
It's fine. Whatever you determine, it's fine with me.
Okay. All right.
All right, sounds good.
So then we'll get him and then we'll bring him to the March 8th meeting then.
Excellent.
Excellent. Good. Thank you for that.
All right, item 3 is the assessment process. PAA could conduct the emotional intelligence and writing exercise online or in person on March 12th. Mike, did you want us to give some feedback on this? Or is that just FYI?
Yeah, I mean, Kevin and Chris, I mean, and I know we talked about this a few times. You think it's okay to do both of them just ahead of time? And then, so then on the 12th, we would just be doing the interviews with the board and then the interviews with the department heads. It'd be easier to coordinate, but this is what you guys do for a living. So it's more of your opinion than mine.
We've done them both ways. If they're going to be in Oregon for the two sets of interviews, we could, what we just need to do is set them up at a laptop or a desktop so they could do both of these. It takes about an hour and 15 minutes to do both, so. The thing about the writing exercise, that it would be nice to proctor that, just
okay.
The EQ we could certainly do online ahead of time to just make things easier on the 12th.
Yeah, we have enough rooms downstairs in the boardroom just to have the interview of the candidate with the board, interview with the candidate in front of the department heads, and then somebody could be in we have a break room that you can do a writing exercise in. So.
The key is you have to be able to close the door so they have, so they're not going to be bothered during the process.
It'll be quiet. Yep.
Okay. All right.
So maybe do the writing exercise in person then.
Yeah, and we can do the EQ ahead of time. Yep.
Perfect. Okay.
It just, Mike, it just has to have a Wi-Fi and a printer.
Okay. Okay.
Set up with that. So.
Okay. Sounds good.
Right. Sounds like we got that figured out.
Thank you.
Item 4 is tours of the community. So village staff has assembled some background information and 2 recent videos of the village for review by the candidates. If requested, an in-person tour could be provided to the selected candidate.
So I think we have some nice videos that we'll send to Kevin that they could share with the candidates. And then I was actually hoping to be vaccinated by then, but I think I may get bumped. But even if I'm not, I'll figure some way. If somebody wants an in-person tour at some point, I'll figure a way of doing that. So that we're both safe. If they want it.
Mike, our experience has been that, in fact, we're just doing one of these this weekend. The candidates want to be able to see the community and have, at least to this point in time, have not had any issue of jumping in a car with somebody they don't know, which is amazing. But they, you know, as long as there's masks, we have not had a candidate refuse a tour. So they think it's very.
I'm being a little selfish on our side. I don't want to risk myself or our staff to do it.
I understand.
You can get a big bus, Mike, you know, like a school bus, and he or she can go in the back and you can,
right.
It works.
That's what I was thinking. If we got a minivan, we can have one in the middle row, somebody in the front.
Actually, if I do it, I'm going to just have the person sit in the back row, seriously, but we'll figure it as we get closer to that. But I think maybe if they see the videos, they may not want to do it right away. So we'll see.
The other alternative is just have candidates follow along behind somebody and you can just talk via Bluetooth on your cells, you know. So
yeah.
We've done that.
We've done that too.
It works okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good idea. Yeah.
All right, item 5 is review draft employment agreement. Talk about possibly forwarding the draft agreement to village attorney Kyle Gulia for review. I am always in favor of forwarding things to Kyle Gulia. As the village president, he keeps me out of a lot of trouble. But how's the rest of the board? Obviously, it costs money to have Kyle look at things for us. How's the rest of the board feel about that?
I would agree.
Safe than sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, good.
I
So
would
that's
agree.
it. Yeah, go ahead, Jenna.
Sorry, it is a couple questions. It references manual. Is that the one that we talked about in a previous meeting that we're working on, I'm assuming, but I wanted to just verify. And then
Yep.
I noticed that it highlighted in the document was the gendered language, his, hers, and was that highlighted because we're going to change that, or I was just looking for clarification on that one.
I mean, I think it used to only be his, and now we're changing it to his/hers. Because Mike's been the village administrator for so long.
For a very long time.
It's a dated document.
Okay, I just wasn't sure if that was because we were adding hers or we were wanting to change it to gender neutral, them, their.
We could always change it to his, her / their too.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or we could just change it to their, THEIR.
Yep.
And that's.
I like that.
There.
I like that too.
Personally.
Yeah.
All right, sounds like we got anything else on that one?
So I will do that. I'll send that to Kyle.
Okay. And then item 6, the background process. A reminder that Chief Pagenkopf has confirmed that Verona's police department will conduct the background on the finalist for the board. So we appreciate that. Thank you, Chief, for setting that up, and thank you to Verona for doing that for us. All right. So now we are going on to report of committees. We don't have any. We don't have any minutes requiring action. We have no unfinished business. We have no new business. Now, item 14, the board will meet in closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 19.85 parent 1C to review resumes and select semifinalists for the village administrator position. And we will adjourn from closed session. Someone like to make a motion to go into closed session, please.
Oh, it moves that.
All right, so a motion by Bollig and a second by Jacobson, and we need to do roll call, right? To go in?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Peggy, you want to do a roll call for us?
Carpenter,
Yes.
Blish,
Yes.
Bollig,
Yes.
Stitch,
Yes.
Jacobson,
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
All right.
All right, so public members of the public, we'd ask you to leave the meeting now. We're going to go into closed session and work on hiring a next.